Hello, trading is closed on the 17th of July 2014 and I'm Jeffrey Tennant. As usual, I think we should review yesterday's predictions, go over today's signals and try to come up with a prediction for tomorrow. Yesterday I said I expected us to gap outside of Wednesday's range, which we did, and I guessed that we would gap under the low, which we did. There was a target of 1971.49 from the mejt system. It was favored to print yesterday, but it printed today instead. There's a new mejt target of 1975.89. If this is a major change in trend, all higher targets have an increased risk of failure. During the day, the system showed support resistance, in this case resistance at the thin lines and targets at the thick lines. So the system was showing intense resistance near the highs. It gave an ultimate sell signal right at the afternoon high. The minimum target was too close to make a trade if all you were doing was trading based on the system. It's the white dot, but there's nothing requiring prices to stop at the minimum. The system says this drop is a false move and targets 1975.89. Sure looks like a stretch. Let's look at some other stuff. On the daily chart, yesterday was day 21 of countdown of a sequential sell signal from Tom DeMark. I've been talking ever since the first week in July here and saying that the technicals were compatible with the end of the 5-year bull market. That remains the long-term call. If 22 bars of a countdown print, the sell signal fails, so we drop just in time to keep the signal alive. It's well known from DeMark's books that the line of origin of the signal, the TDST line, is significant. Typically, if you're going to get a collapse, you take this line out pretty quickly, which didn't happen here. But I found that the close of bar 8 of countdown is significant also. If we're going to drop, we should take out that close on a closing basis. It held this drop here, and we closed just over the line here. So based on that, we're holding above support. There are a few other things indicating support at the low. The ones based on other people's work I can't really show because they swore me to secrecy, but let's look at some other things. In the red, we had an inverted diamond on stilts. The test of the origin of the left stilt held the first time. It should have failed miserably the second time and given us a big rally. When that didn't happen, that was a clue that normally bullish signals were not working. I think what happened is that we had a diamond on stilts here. We have a stilt, half a diamond's enough. And we had resistance on the first test of the left stilt. Well, let's look at what's happening now. If you look at the blue, we have a diamond, a large diamond on stilts. Here's the first test of the origin of the left stilt. This is the second test, and we should have dropped in spades. Instead, we recovered and closed right at the origin. That can be invalidated if we gap down tomorrow. but it should have kept on dropping today and didn't. We also have a wall right into the close. Walls into the close tend to show panic selling by retail customers. Often there's a gap up the following day. This trend line here helped us identify the top. If you connect the top of this gap with the top of that gap, you get today's low. That's the support level. If we're going to keep dropping, we should gap under that level. If that doesn't happen, we reverse right from there. So far, support has held. Now, right now, even though support has held in regular trading hours, as soon as the market closed, we tanked but good down to 1942.50 futures, equivalent to about 1948 plus cash. That is a mejt level, and we reversed right from that level. Now, mejt levels are based on regular trading hours. I don't have enough information to say if they work in futures or not, but for people who've read my book on page 120 and who know what the rules are for direct hits, we at least are reversing in the futures market from a reasonable price. If we were going to drop straight down from here, which looks like the obvious course, I would not expect to see all the overlaps we've had. We're overlapping this, we're overlapping this. It's hard to get an impulsive count out of this. So, the mejt signal for tomorrow, the target is 1975.89, increased risk of failure. My personal opinion is if we gap down, I don't know what's going to stop us from continuing to drop, but I think we could gap up. Maybe I'm getting too cute here, but I don't think this 1975.89 is out of reach if we do have a strong gap up tomorrow. Longer term, I think the top is in, and that's today's call.